Do you guys have a sales meeting every single morning or no? Yeah. Every morning. Okay. So in the resources, and I'll make sure I print it off again for the managers. I got like 20 objections. We need to be role playing for 10 to 15 minutes before we leave every meeting. So when we get on a Zoom call together, when we're ending the Zoom call together, for the last 10 minutes, we're going to role play, right? I'm going to throw an objection out. I'm going to say, hey, phone up. Here's the objection. Overcome it. Joe, go. And Joe's going to go, right? Then I might say, Renee, how would you handle that? Maya, how would you handle that? Okay, cool. All right, here's how I would handle it. All right, write this down, guys. Write this down. And then boom, I'm going to give you what I would say. Not that what was said was wrong. What we want to do is we want to get sharp. I want you to understand something. When it comes to overcoming objections, do you guys realize there really and truly ain't but about 10 objections that we encounter over and over and over? They don't change. The goal is to be able to rebuttal quickly to every objection at least 3 or 4 different ways. 3 or 4 different ways. A lot of that is the words we choose, which I'm going to get into that, of some things that I think are very valuable to be able to help lead you into overcoming those. But at the end of the day, we got to practice. We got to practice. So one of the things I'll ask the managers to do when you guys have a sales meeting, the last 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, we're just going to overcome an objection. Throw it on the table. You know, maybe we have a worksheet and, you know, we just role play with a worksheet, you know, a pencil. Doesn't matter. We just need to get better. Right? And if we do that over and over and over and we practice in the classroom, it's free. If we practice with a customer, what does it do? Costs us money. Because every time we learn and go, damn, I should have said this. Well, guess what? It would have been a $350, $600 commission. Now it's $150 mini, you know, because that one little move. Yeah, you should have. You could have. Maybe next time. Right? Well, we don't know when the next time is going to be. It's hard enough to get a customer in front of me. Right? So we want to role play. We're talking about 11 things you can do, 10 things you can do to sell more cars. We got to practice, and we got to do it on a daily basis. Okay, here comes the fun part. So, selling more cars. We've talked about it. This is some of the meat and potatoes, man, of this is where you really can grow and learn, because I can go through the sales process and you can have a very good understanding of methodically what we're supposed to do, and I can give you a couple little tips and tricks and tactics throughout the process that I think will help you. But this is the land of the unknown. Service department, data mining, referrals. This is the area where salespeople lack the most information to convert and get success, because nobody has really taught it in the dealership. It's available, but not many people have gone through it. So here's an idea. Here's a script right here. Matter of fact, let's just do this. Can somebody? I'll tell you, we'll just do 6 real quick. So the upgrade and save program. So number 1, a couple ways to handle this. Any one of these variations, we'll go through. I think I'll go through 4 or 5, but I have a list of 12 of them that I want you guys to pick the one you like the best and then nail it. And what you need to do is find somebody in the dealership, or I can help you create it. We can do it together. It doesn't matter. And we want to create a flyer for whatever program we dedicate, that's the one that's important to us. Maybe on the same page you do it as a store for the whole month. And so you got these flyers already printed out, right? And so what I would suggest, whenever you're talking to a customer live, unless you're using Perfect Prospect or you're setting appointments or setting appraisals prior to the customer coming into the dealership that they're aware of, right, which a lot of stores do, your store, it's complete silent. In other words, you don't have Perfect Prospect with eLead, right? Right. And you don't have anybody calling them for pre-appraisals while they're here for service, right?
Sometimes.
Right. You have a dedicated person that does that?
Not dedicated.
Okay.
Some of us go back there and...
But you do it the day of, right? Right. Okay. So, all right. So whenever we're talking to a service customer, here's exactly how I would handle it. The first thing I would do, and you guys, there's 2 ways that you're going to get these service customers. One is you're going to call the customers back from the day before, which I like better than face-to-face, but I'm not opposed to face-to-face. I get more success because I have more people to contact. But if I'm going to go back in service, I'm going to walk back to one of the advisors and I'm going to say, hey, look, do me a favor. Any one of the waiters back there, can you tell me anybody that's got a car that's at least 3 model years old or 120,000 miles or less? Can I get their name and maybe a copy of the service ticket? I just want to talk to them, see if I can upgrade them. They're going to tell you what they tell you. We got 4 people back there right now, Miss Johnson, Mr. Stevens, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, will you print me that service ticket real quick? Print the service ticket. Now I got the service ticket in my hand, okay? And I've got the customer's information. I want to make sure I'm kind of well-versed on who it is, right? And I may walk out and I may say, Mr. Johnson? And he says, yes. Will you do me a favor? Can I see you for a minute about your 2019 Nissan Sentra? Just 30 seconds to a minute. Can you come with me real quick? Now, what is he thinking when I have his RO and I ask him that question? So where do you think he's coming? He's coming right with me. No problem. Good. Hey, nice to meet you, man. Absolutely. Hey, I just need 30 seconds. Follow me real quick. You want a cup of coffee? You good? Something cold to drink or a cup of coffee? Okay, whatever the case may be. Fantastic. Now we get to the office. Now I'm in the office and say, hey, good news is nothing is wrong. Actually, the only reason why I actually called you in here is I had a couple of questions about your car. About 30 seconds worth of questions. Number 1, when you bought the car, was it new or used when you bought the car? Now I'm just going to go through some fact-finding questions to lay the stage to ask one question. That's what I'm doing conceptually. Did you buy it new or used? Does it have a clean Carfax? Have you serviced the car with us all the time? Yada, yada, yada. By the way, I understand it's got 60,000 miles on it. Question for you. Do you love the car? I mean, is it perfect or has things changed over time and it's not fitting the needs? Oh, no, I love my car, blah, blah, blah. Perfect. Well, listen, the whole reason why I asked you just to come sit with me for a second is I had somebody saw your car today. His name was Anthony. And Anthony wanted to buy your car. And I wanted to know, would you be interested in selling Anthony the vehicle? That's the question. I do all of that, pull them apart, all of that to ask that question. And invariably, more than likely, the answer I'm going to get or response I'm going to get is, I'm not what? Interested. So I'm prepared for that. I'm ready for that, and it's not a rejection to me. I'm prepared for that. And that's when I come back and I say, like clockwork, 100% of the time, hey, listen, Joe, to be honest with you, had you been interested, you probably would have come and found me or found Anthony to sell us the car. I understand that. My question to you is, if you were paid more than what the car was worth, would that interest you? Once again, he's going to probably say no. Or again, you'd be very surprised how many times they say yes. Okay? So he says no again. Okay, cool. Listen, I just want to make sure the car market is very similar to the housing market. And what I mean by that is, sometimes a house worth $200,000 and people are paying $400,000 for houses. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the crazy money. Cars are no different. We are struggling trying to get these cars. Anthony saw your car. Just so I'm on the same page with you. If we paid you $5,000 or $6,000 more what that thing was worth, are you positive you wouldn't be open-minded? No, I'm good. Perfect. No problem. Hey, listen, I appreciate the time you've given me. He wanted me to address it and see if there was an opportunity maybe to buy your car. But in the future, if we could, or if you want to, work something out with the trade, we'd love to help you out. Thank you so much. Boom. Walk him back out. That's it. Wait about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Get a service ticket. Maya, hey, can I see you real quick about your 13 Nissan Altima? Boom. Great. Follow me. Boom. We sit him down. Boom. Face to face. And then we go through the same thing. All you're doing is you're respectfully asking them. Now, the other approach is these service scripts. What we can do is we can actually put these together on one flyer, right? So I would recommend, like, for the whole month, we may pick a program that this is what the store's doing, and we practice, drill, rehearse what that program is. And when you call them back on a one-on-one, or you can have a conversation with customers in the service waiting area. The problem with having a conversation with the customer in the service waiting area is you're in front of 9 other people, right? So once you blow your wad talking to one customer about, hey, I got a deal for you, I got a service and save program, wanted to share it with you real quick. Everybody's listening. Once that's done, guess what? Now everyone's been exposed to it, right? You may have somebody say, I'd be interested in that. You may, but more than likely, well, by the way, you're not going to make your rounds and just hit 9 other people with the same thing, right? I mean, it's a very uncomfortable and insincere approach to kind of get them persuaded. You may generically ask the group, hey guys, by the way, I was just talking to Ms. Johnson regarding the upgrade and save program. Is anybody else interested in that? And then, boom, you're done. There's 9 people that you just wasted, that you can't pull aside. So my recommendation is you methodically figure out who's in the service waiting area, find the service ticket, politely ask them, can I see you just for a quick second? Okay, any questions? Any questions on what I just covered? Because what I just covered is also the service script, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. And I actually have some service tickets. I'm actually going to call some, and we're going to go through it together. But are there any questions on that philosophy and what you're going to do. Yes, sir.
When, say for example, you do the whole script, you pull it to the side,
Yep.
bring it to the office, and they hit you with, well, I still owe X amount on my current vehicle. I financed it with Hyundai next door. What can you guys do for me? That would be my question. How would you approach that situation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rebuttal?
Yeah. So before I answer that, let me just ask you a question. If somebody gives you that, and that person you just met cold 45 seconds ago asked that question, what does that mean you have in front of you? I got a car deal. Right? So any objections you get at that moment is a positive thing, right? So again, it's words. So the customer says, hey, I've got a balance owed on mine. I got it from the Hyundai store. What do we do about that? Hey, Renee, that's an awesome concern. The good news is our store stated policy that if anybody has a payoff on the car and we acquire their inventory, we're going to pay it off 100% regardless. Period. That's going to be a non-issue. But the most important thing is, from the car that you currently have, let me ask you a couple of questions. And now I'm going to transition in. You currently are driving the Ultimate. Do you want to go bigger? Like, are you looking maybe a Rogue? Or do you need an SUV? Is fuel economy important to you? You know what? If you had to do it all over again and rewind the clock, what would you change now that you don't have in your other car? Tell me what you love about do you see what I'm doing? I'm just shifting into a car deal. I'm shifting as fast as I can shift into a needs assessment, right? Because what's the needs assessment? It's the DNA. It's the last car deal, right? It's the crime scene. How they bought their last car is indicative of probably how they're going to buy their next car. Does that make sense? So I want to extract as much information as I possibly can to set up the deal. So if I get any kind of, listen, if I'm talking to a customer and I say, Miss Johnson, can you come with me for just a quick second? I just want a couple questions about your Ultima. And I sit him down and I go through my whole variation. We'd love to be interested in, Anthony would love to buy your car. They don't need to know Anthony's used car manager, right? I mean, you just say, hey, look, guy by the name Anthony saw your car, would like to buy the car. Here's the facts. The true matter is, if Anthony did see their car and the miles are right and the car's in good condition, would Anthony want to buy the car? Yes or no? If he could buy it right, of course he would. Right? So it's being genuine, because the fact of the matter is, if I could get a car, and I don't know if you guys have a little bird dog that if like you prospect somebody online or I mean, again, Auto Trader, whatever the case, people selling their car and you can acquire the car, do they pay you a fee? Do they pay you a little buyer fee or something like that? Okay. That may be, and I'm sure Ross Prudden wouldn't have a problem with that to extend the efforts of everybody, because there's a whole nother avenue when people are selling their car online that you can call and acquire the car. Somebody may be trying to sell it for 4 months and can't sell it. They're ready to take a short deal on it, you know. And if we buy the car in the inventory for the right money, you know, we're going to pay a buy fee of some kind to Simulcast, to you know, Mannheim. Someone's going to get it, right? Might as well be you, for even if we can't trade them, we got something, right? So it maximizes your effort. So if somebody has any variation of that question or concern, you need to be ears wide open, right? I think it's really, really important, just like I'm communicating with you guys a bunch of different strategies and ideas. It's not important what I say. What's important is what you hear. I can write on this board, it's not important what I do. What's really important is what you see. And what I just said to you is the same thing for a customer. It's what a customer hears. And it's what they see that makes the difference. Whenever you have an opportunity in a service department situation and a customer asks any kind of signal that's not no, I would not be interested, hang on with two hands. There's the crack in the door, right? And here we go with salesmanship and words and persuasion and convincing. And by the way, what are you currently paying? Well, I'm paying $412. Gotcha. So yeah, I'd be interested. Great. Well, if we bought your car, would you need another form of transportation, or are you good if we buy your car? Well, I'll need something else. Okay. Boom. Now we got a trade situation. You tracking? Like you're finding ways to figure out how you can position the deal to move a customer forward, right? And again, we'll get into the math of the equation on closing the deal and their payment going up or whatever the case may be, you know, as we get to that point in the process. So, all right. So I passed that. What was the other one here? Read the second one. Who wants to read the second one? Get paid to trade. So if you got a get paid to trade program, flyer, communication, and we're talking 500, that may not be enough. Maybe the number's 3,000. Maybe the number's 3,500. Get paid to trade. Well, how much? $3,500. $4,000. Right? What's the goal? The goal is to open the mind. Right? We got a program up to $4,000. Keywords up to $4,000. Right? What determines the up to? Determines the up to is based on the car we select and the advance on the deal and what we can and can't do. The good news on this deal, we can do 2,500. Right? We got up to 4, but in this we can do 2,500. Right? I mean, based on negative equity and circumstance and situation. The point is you got ways to navigate with the communication with somebody. So let's just take the first one. Okay? Or even just take the second one. Now all of a sudden we're switching gears. You got a service customer that we're talking about and we're putting flyers together or a one-on-one conversation and we're talking about get paid to trade. And then I hit you with an orphan owner list. All right? And I drop in your CRM just 5 prospects a day, sold customers that bought cars 2.5, 3 years ago that are now in your database. And now you got 5 names. And now here we go. So I need to make 5 calls a day, right? I'm making 50, so there's 5 of them, right? Or maybe I want to make 10. But I simply pick up the phone, I make my dials, and so-and-so answers the phone. Miss Johnson, how are you? This is Louie down at Mitchell Nissan. I just wanted to take a quick moment. I've just been reviewing your file on your current car. Do you still have your 2019 Nissan Altima? Okay, so here we go, right? I'm reviewing your account, and I got a question regarding your 2019. Oh, no, baby, I already traded that car. Oh, okay, great. What do you currently drive? Boom, I'm into a conversation, right? And now I'm into a needs assessment. When you bought the car, did you love the car? Tell me, the reason why I'm calling is you qualify for our Get Paid to Trade program. And currently under that program that's going on this month, we're offering up to a $5,000 or $4,500 cash incentive. And I wanted to know if you wanted to come in and see what exactly the amount you have based on the trade you have. And I have availability today at 2, at 4, and I can also stay at 6 o'clock. What time would work best for you? We just set an appointment. Go for the appointment. Well, I wouldn't be interested, baby. Okay. It's funny. Had you been interested? Y'all need to learn this. I'm not interested. Y'all need to learn this. Had you been interested, you'd have picked up the phone and called me. I realize that. So what I want to do is see if I can create some interest. If there's something I could do that would make it so interesting you couldn't refuse it, so financially attractive, it just makes sense. See the words that I'm using? I'm just using words, right, to bounce back and reposition, and I'm with you. I understand. I'm reframing. I get it. If I'm in your shoes, feel the same way. However, would you consider yourself an open-minded person? And if you are, here's the reason why. It's Christmas time. Could you use $5,000? Now, we got a program up to $5,000, depending on the situation, whether there's negative equity or the bank or the advance or credit situation, whatever the case may be, but it could be a great time. I'd love to sit down with you. And the good news, today I've got 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. If I need to stay till 6 for you, I will. You're one of our previous customers. Which time would work best for you? Now, if we're doing this 5 times a day, and you're doing it 5 times at the service department, and we go back to the math, can you see how you're going to get rejected in making some of these calls? Yes or no? Yes. Of course you are. Can you see how there's a possibility you could open a door and get a few appointments with this way? 100%. Because the problem with follow-up, the problem with prospecting is we don't have the incentives, the ideas, the creativity to lead into the conversation to open the door to see if we can do something. Yes, sir.
I have a question, and I think it's just a common misconception that I had when I was selling, that I think a lot of our salespeople have now, is that you can't make money on a service customer because they're buried, whatever it is. And then when we're throwing out, say 500 or 1,000, the first thing that I think comes to everybody's mind is, there goes my gross.
Yeah.
So is this something that the desk needs to be aware of ahead of time?
100%.
Preserve said
100%. First of all, every service department car deal should be a money maker unless there's negative equity you can't overcome. And the reason being is because in that particular moment, customers are not in the market for a car, so they're not online 5 different places comparing. You're catching them in a position where basically I'm paying $450. If I can be close to that, I may do something. Can you work with me? Does that make sense? You should make the money. Now, y'all have to understand something. Like, you have to understand, if I'm dealing with a prospect and I've got no shot to get to a position of a car deal, but I can tell you I got up to $7,500. I got up to $7,500. You know what? I got up to $12,000 I've got up to $12,000, get paid to trade. Would you be interested up for 12 grand? Would you have a conversation with me? What car would I be talking about for 12 grand? How much? Who? What else?
Armada.
Can I do it?
Sure.
Do I want to do it? But do I want the door open? Tell somebody, get paid to trade up to 12 grand. Are you interested? Have a conversation? What does that mean? Glad you asked. Follow me real quick.
You can also get them on the hook and back it down too.
That's my point. My point is, any form of marketing and advertising is to grab attention and hook, bring it to the facility by way of a phone call or a walk-in. Once we sit down face to face, then we go over the details. I don't care if it's Best Buy. I don't care if it's Target. We've all seen the deal. Then we go down to Best Buy and shit. Dang, I thought I was getting... But you're not mad. You get it, right? It's while supplies last, or it's the one in stock, or who knows. And I'm not saying be shifty, shady with people. All I'm saying is, look, I'm trying to prospect an opportunity that there's nothing, and I just want to turn the faucet wide open and go, the max possible is up to 12, baby. Would you even consider? You would? Okay, let's see how close we can get. Oh, I don't want to tighten. No problem. No problem. No problem. We'll navigate somewhere else and still get you some save. The goal is to get paid to trade. We want to pay you. Or we can apply it to the deal, or we can figure it out accordingly, right? We'll figure it out. The good news is, let's talk about what you currently have. How long have you had it? By the way, who's the finance with? By the way, what? And again, by the way, who's the finance with? Santander, Exeter, Chrysler Capital. What does that tell you? Okay, so now we know. So now we know just by Bank of America, TD Bank, SunTrust. Now we know. What do we know? We know what we know, right? So we know how to navigate our questions. Somebody that's with Exeter or Santander or Global, we're a little more firm with our questions to get to the root quicker. May want to get to a credit app quicker, right? To discover what we have so we can structure the deal. Got to work that deal backwards, right? Got to figure out what car's going to work first based on what we think we can get done. So my point is, I'm leading you down a road of, if I say, call these orphan owners, call these previously sold customers, and make 50 calls, and you have no idea what to say, who the hell would do that? I wouldn't. We only call them to do what? I don't even know what to say. So what I want to do is I want to leave you with certain programs, incentives that you can marinate it on and go, I could sell this. I could sell this. I can open the door with this. And then you memorize it to where it flows. And remember what I'm telling you. When a customer says, I'm not interested, you're going to say what?
Stop lying.
Come on now. Stop lying. No, someone said, I'm not interested. Man, it's funny you say that, because had you been interested, you'd have called me. You'd have called me. If you can learn that and understand with the consumer, you got to understand something. When somebody let's say you're in a pencil. You guys are in a pencil and somebody gives you an objection. If a customer sees your state change, you're done. Right? You go in, present the pencil. Guy says, let me tell you something. I'm not doing that. Price too high, not enough for my trade, and the payments are definitely got to come down. And you go, okay. All right. So if I did that, we could earn your business? Oh, how low does it have to be? Like how much you want for the trade? And how low you see the whole state changed. When somebody tells me, and I'm in a prospecting situation, hey, I wouldn't be interested. My state doesn't change. I'm like, baby, I got that one. I'm so used to hearing I'm not interested. That's an easy one. And I'm actually get excited because I want to come back with a punch. Man, had you been interested, let me tell you what would have happened. You probably would have woke up this morning, said, you know what? I want to sell my car. You'd have contacted me or someone at the dealership, so I get it. Totally understand. Here's what I'd love to do. Would you consider yourself open-minded? Can I make a suggestion? And I pause. What am I doing? All I'm doing is bridging gaps to the objection and say, look, we got our paid to trade program. Again, it only comes out once a year, right? My question to you is, could you use 12 grand? Could you use $12,000? It's Christmas time, end of the year. Just a question. Of course I could, right? Why don't we, and then boom. Are we saying we're giving 12? We ask the question, could you use it? That's going to require you to buy an Armada or Titan to begin with. Well, I don't want Armada or Titan. Not a problem. We can work it out on a Rogue. It won't be as much because it's up to, depending on the vehicle we select. But we will pay you to trade. We'll apply it to the deal and or figure out a way with a prepaid card. But we want to earn your business. You're just opening up doors. Does that make sense?